Only and his guests are not responsible for any losses you may accrue for having weekends. Where the haters at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. It's lullaby music, really, right? It's hard to believe that something like this exists. I get it, but you just gotta come to terms with reality. It just exists. Nothing we can do about it. Buy a steak and chill, baby. Shout out to Marketable Thoughts. You can't get this kind of shit for free anywhere else. And it's very important to understand that. And we're handing it out. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. So much luck, once again, because the facts don't give a fuck. Peace.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you're at. Hope everybody's doing all right. Pretty interesting movie we have going on display so far. Fortunately, it seems like people are gonna die in that movie, but it's still a movie. And I think it's very important that we keep that in mind because, everybody's acting to a certain extent. And because of that, we're going to see some type of change. But it's important to remember still an act, you know. We'll see how things develop from here, but be wary of anything being digitally focused because the further digitized we get, the closer we get to biometric everything, which is a goal already in some states. So you got to really be on your P's and Q's. And, I don't really know. One thing I do know about, just to get this out of the way, one thing I do know about that chopper uh, and that airplane thing is that chopper was definitely remote controlled and it was definitely aiming for that plane. Now, whether that plane had people in it or not is a whole nother story. For all we know, it could be a whole nother 9/11. Because you got to realize what their goal is. Their goal is to give this dude unilateral power to do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, don't miss the fact that he already signed an anti-Semitism executive order. Nobody asked for that. In fact, we want the opposite. Get them motherfuckers out of here. Because they're the ones causing all the fucking problems. So, those are the kinds of things you have to be aware of. If this thing is what we think it is in terms of it not being real, right, and it being a whole show and all of that, then that's obviously what's going on, right? So those are the kinds of things you guys got to be aware of. You got to be cognizant of because the game doesn't stop. Trump doesn't change anything. Trump being in office does not change anything. And we've seen already in the first 10 days that everything is pretty much a continuation of the last regime. It just looks nicer because they're giving you some economic power back. At least it seems like that's the case. But we'll see. Because, what's going to actually happen, right? You probably have all heard or probably are tired of hearing by now all this deep seek business. But what's going to happen when they really try to implement AI at a broad spectrum? What's going to happen then? They don't have an answer for that. They're just going to do it. And that's the goal. The goal is for them to have people just be like, yeah, man, just do whatever you want, bro. We're not paying attention. We don't care. We trust you. And that's what people want too. That's the dangerous part. The people don't want to be bothered. They think that they can just leave it to somebody else. And no, you cannot, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And just because you're getting some of the leash back doesn't mean anything. Because once again, we don't live in a civilized society. We have to grovel for our survival through the use of our time and quote unquote skills. So these are things that we have to keep in perspective. I understand we all have to survive, but this is what we must do to survive. And this is how you know this is not a civilized society. That's a fact. Things to think about, right? Because, as you keep hearing news, whether it's on social media or on mainstream media, it's really kind of one and the same. It's just two different facets. But at the end of it all, you know, the problem creators still persist. They haven't gone anywhere. They're right there. And we all know who they are if we're paying attention. So, what's up with that? Why do they continue to carry on? Why do we not still see Epstein list? We still ain't seen no Diddy list. They talked a good deal about it, but where's it at? Nowhere to be found, I'm afraid. And those are the kinds of things that you gotta be mindful of. Don't let them sell you a good story, have you looking the other way, and then ransack you the other way. Because you don't need that. You need results. Boom, period. This is what you need. And if we got somebody in there that we can bulldoze into some type of scenario where they're going to give us some economic resources back, well, one thing I'll tell you is that you should be well enthused to take advantage of this time that we're going to have here for the next 3 years and change, because you know what's coming after that. In fact, yeah, you know what's coming after that. So, do yourself the favor, don't slack, get up on your game, because you don't know. I told you guys last time I streamed what could be, right? And I think they've slowed down on the terror attacks up until yesterday, right? Or yeah, last night. Um, because ultimately, they can't really be out here doing all of that and thinking people aren't going to be paying attention or whatever. Eventually people figure these things out. So we got gold making all-time highs. I don't know if people understand that. All time, like brand new. Like if you want to make some quick cash in a week, buy some 2-week options on their ETF, on that GLD ETF. That shit gonna pay out because it's breaking out right now. So it has no option but to keep going up. That's just what it's gonna be. So anyway, point is, If everything was so hunky dory as people like to pretend, why would gold need to be breaking out? Why is it not selling off? That's the interesting question, right? And the reality is that monetarily speaking, nothing has changed. Macroeconomically speaking, everything is the same. Geopolitically speaking, the powers that be have shifted, but monetarily, who controls the money supply, the money game, all of that remains the same, and that's the problem. So I understand everybody's excited about Trump, being pro crypto and all of that, but you guys got to realize it's just a hijack to impose regulations on crypto, which is completely the opposite reason for it to exist. And in case anybody forgets, let's just pull it up, because people might be saying, what is this guy talking about? How can you trade in an asset and not have it be regulated? Blah blah blah. Well, that's exactly why. That's exactly why crypto exists, so that there is no way for a regulator to have any say in anything that happens in any facet of this realm. So let's read the first, and this is all you need to know about crypto. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. I'll read that again. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. I mean, you guys got to realize all your favorite fools do not understand this. So you'll be well advised to be, comprehending of this point. Anything that does not follow this is not crypto. Period. Doesn't matter what the fuck you say. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form what opinion you might have. Because this here, right, like this white paper, this is what defines it all. So if the idea is to get away from regulatory overreach, from the thing that created this, when you look at gold on a 55-day per candle basis, it's a one-way trade. This is not a debate. That's literally what you're looking at, a one-way trade. So the question you have to ask yourself is, why is that the case? Why is it that gold poses better annual returns than the S&P 500? Why? You don't hear anybody on Wall Street talking about that one. In fact, they don't want you to know that. But what's that website? Gold.org, I think it is. No, I don't think this is the one. There was a website I used to go to that it would have like all these gold prices. I'm gonna have to find it again. But point is, it would show the returns. It would show the returns in all these different time frames and facets. So I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna just show you guys, because this is just one of those things you got to understand in order to really grasp the problem. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna try to pitch to you policy reform and all this paper bullshit, but the mathematical problem will persist. And that's how we know nothing will get fixed. They're still talking about space and shit. Like if you're a dumbass. Like, yo, it's 2025, bro. Everybody knows there's no such thing. Just like everybody knows who shot JFK. Everybody knows. If they're paying attention anyway. If they're just lulling around waiting for the government to tell them what the answer is to everything, then that's not the person I'm talking about. Right? That's not who I'm talking about. So those are things you got to realize are going on, right? Like, yeah, Curve Water's a good one, man. I love that one. Yeah. But this is how it works, right? They got you in a situation where you were working remotely, and then they have you moving. They let you move. They tell you, yeah, it's all good. We never going back to the office, and they knew what they were gonna do. So what happens? Well, they let you move. They let you do this. They let you do that. They let you uproot your existence from what it was for a period of 2 to 3 years, just to come now and be like, you know what? Don't worry. Don't worry. But you know what? We're actually gonna need you to what's that guy? Lumberg from Office Space. I mean, this is what I think of, you know, all the time. Seriously. Like, this is what's going on right now. We gonna need y'all to come on right back to the office, and we don't give a shit, if you live in fucking Kansas and the office is in Miami. Bring your ass back. Good luck. And don't worry, because the homies are gonna dump $500 billion into the problem. So AI can replace you. So don't worry that it's gonna be fucked up for a little while. You'll just deal with it. You'll be alright. That's the solution. That's the solution, man. And people just go with it. They don't understand that they're being herded like sheep to slaughter. Not even to get their wool sheared. So, prepare yourselves for what's coming, folks. I don't know how much time we have, but something's definitely up. Something's up. It's like they're giving you all the candy, all the sweeteners right before they gut you. They're fattening you up right before they drop the hammer on you. That's what it feels like to me. I don't trust none of these people. I don't know them like that. I recommend you don't either. Because this is the barometer. Look at this thing. I mean, what if we just hit one of these for the next 12 years? I mean, this already happened here. What's to say it's not already in motion now? Because you can't sit here and tell me anything has changed. Everything is the same. They're acting like they're doing stuff, sure. They pass a lot of executive orders, of course. But guess what? They all got to get reviewed. They all got to get approved. They all got to be constitutional. So it's not just putting them on paper. There's still a little process behind that. Not to say that there is a protocol to anything or that there will even be any walls put up for them. But, it's important to understand what is going on. It's very importante to understand that. So, as you see gold sitting on a 52-week high, note it's really an all-time high. And in order to just impress how all-time it is, let's go back all the way as far as we can. In fact, let's get 89 days on this bad boy. There we go. Let's get this thing. Oh, it's already logarithmic, so it's as good as it's going to get. Sorry, folks, but there you have it. All time gold chart. And you gotta understand if the idea now, okay, let's play devil's advocate here, right? Let's pretend, let's pretend all of this is a nightmare that's just coming to an end and we're gonna wake up in utopia or something. Let's pretend. Although we all know that's not what's gonna happen. But let's pretend, you know. Let's pretend they aren't gonna impose ridiculous regulations on crypto because people are fucking asking for it. All these Fed boys that y'all think are fucking cool are asking for it. That's what it means when they want shit on exchanges, whether you like it or not. That's what the fuck it means. Something to think about. So, as we stare at this chart, you must comprehend that this is going all the way back to 1833, assuming this is even real. I don't believe anything anymore, especially not our history. I don't. Because when you look back past 1920, a lot of places are fucking empty. Population just wasn't there. They can say whatever statistic they want, but when you look at the hard evidence, where the fuck were the people before 1920? It's almost like there was no bodies in this motherfucker. So I'm on the side of this is more like a Truman Show thing, and we don't really know what's going on. But anyway, let's presume this crypto getting inserted into the mainstream is a real thing, which is not. But let's assume that implies that the dollar is definitely going to get dumped because if it does not, then how is that supposed to work? How can you have two measuring sticks? You cannot. Now you can pretend to have two, but there's only really ever one. And this is not a society that defaults to math. So it's not going to be crypto that's going to be the default because then that means we going to war at some point just over ideology. Things to think about because where this chart means that the dollar has gone down in value. Let me help you guys out. This is the dollar value versus gold. That's fiat. This is what we work for every day. And I don't really think people understand that because even when it comes to crypto, they're still chasing this. And they think they're cool doing it and they don't realize how stupid they are. Now, if you're trying to play a game where you cycle more fiat, into crypto by playing these games, and that's fine. But I think there are better games to play. That's why I play, futures market, stock market, well, really options, futures and options. Because there's real returns to be had there that you can really, generate in a simple way. And you don't got to worry about rugs. You don't got to worry about getting your money back and all that craziness. It's just a whole nother scenario, a whole nother ball game. So these are the kinds of things you guys got to think about. I mean, this is the dollar versus gold. I mean, this is the same thing as saying it was a dollar. Oh, they're not indexing it? Or why is it not indexed? Ah, okay. They just still leave this. Okay, so assume, let me zoom in here. All right, when you're looking at this scale, the starting point, which would be 0 in normal instances, is 100 here. Okay. So anything over 100 is multiples. All right. So we're about to assess the devaluation of the dollar versus a hard asset such as gold. Now get ready because it's ridiculous. $135x. That's the devaluation of the dollar versus one. So it's actually negative. Like I've been telling you guys for a while, it's not one, or I'm sorry, not even 3 cents like it shows in the chart. It's actually negative. So yeah, this is why now we're at the point where the prices in the stores, they don't stop going up. It doesn't matter what they do, what they say, yada yada. There is just no way for them to save this they can't save themselves from this mathematical problem. And all they can do is lie about that. They can't do anything else. So this is what we end up seeing. And this is what we end up feeling. Right? When we go outside to the stores, you can have all the millions and billions you want. It's still getting stretched thin, just like this. This is why, as a person with a lot of money, you have to invest it in physical asset, or I'm sorry, in financial assets, because this is a financial economy. You understand? Everything is doing the same thing. Except for natural gas. Ah, man. And bonds now, because they were going down, but now they're going to be going up. But you guys get the idea. The idea is when you live in a financialized economy, you have to be in the financial markets in order to benefit. Now, you look at the dollar, though, like this is an image, a graphic of the dollar. 89 days per candle from 1986 to now. Doesn't look quite the same as reality. It almost looks like it's been trying to hold some value, but we all know that's not the case. So we all know that's not the case. And this is crude. Now, this is just one aspect of it. Let me see. Futures. Let's go look at palladium. So we're not going to have as much history here. What is the palladium? I can't remember. Uh, what is that table? Chemistry. Yeah, chemical symbol. Well, that's good enough. I was trying to think of the name of the table though. Palladium. All right. XPDUSD. Yeah. Not as much history here, unfortunately. I was just trying to see if we can get some real history, but the CME has more history. But as you guys can see, it's the same. Excuse me. It's the same thing. Now, why is this here? It almost makes math look like it's a lie. And no, math is not a lie. You just got to understand how these financial markets work, right? Because how is it silver looks almost like that too? When we all know silver can't look like that. Silver has to look like gold. But what's important to understand is that when you control the money system and you create the size of it and then you paper over it, you guys familiar with what I'm saying? Because this is the stuff I've been railing against since the initial call for a Bitcoin ETF or a crypto ETF of any type. Because this is going to be the outcome. This is what happens right here. How is it that silver doesn't look like gold? Well, it's because they can manipulate silver much more easily than they can manipulate gold because this is a much more smaller market. Palladium, same deal. Right, we look at copper, it's going to be the same deal. Not as fluid as gold because it's a much smaller market, so much more difficult to manipulate. I just wanted to see what that looked like. I didn't expect that to actually look like anything. But you look at crude, heating oil, you're going to see the same deal, right? I mean, if you guys know a little bit of your history, you know that this was pretty much the low, $10. And we've gone all the way as high as 150, right? And again, what I want you guys to understand, I am not showing you the increase in the value of these assets. I'm showing you the decrease in your purchasing power against these assets over time. Things you need to understand because this is the problem. It's not no policy, it's not no reform, it's not any of that jazz. It's simply the people in control. They are always printing money. And because they're always printing money and everything is always financialized, you can't win if you don't understand how to play the money game. And a lot of people don't want to learn how to play the money game. They want to get rich quick on a quick crypto coin, and that's fine. But that money gonna run out, and you're gonna be back at square zero. And that's just the reality of the situation. So these are the things you guys got to understand as we keep moving forward. Because if we're gonna be let go to go make some money over these next 4 years, you better make it good. Because I don't see it being a thing after that. So you got to really use these last 4 years to set yourself up. Because I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know about anything after this. Because we already saw what they are willing to do. I mean, look at what they did to California. I don't even know if that fire is still burning or they just stopped reporting on it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's still burning. It burned for 3 weeks. Easy. That fire burned for 3 weeks easy. And them folks in Bad Nine, they don't care. They're evil. So your inability to care about all of this stuff is going to lead them to come and destroy you too one day, just like it did to all them fools in Hollywood that thought they were untouchable. These are people that thought they were untouchable. Because if you look at a fool like James Woods, all that shit his dumb ass be talking, what in the fuck is he still doing living there? Like, you living with the enemy, bro. You might as well be living in fucking Afghanistan. Dumbest shit ever. So you got what you had coming to you. You got to think about it, guys. You got to think about it. Don't get carried away with words. You got to pay attention to action. Action leads to everything else. Because if you think about something and you don't act on it, then who cares if you thought about it? Doesn't matter much. Doesn't matter much at all. Let's look at this. This is the value of your dollar against chocolate. Good luck buying a Hershey's bar, motherfucker. Oh my God. Against feeder cattle. Against pork. Against coffee. Just getting started here. Just getting started. Against more different types of cattle. This is the cattle you eat, which of course is relatively way more expensive. So feeder cattle started the low was 36 and we're 282. So let's see. My math might be wrong here. 282 divided by what? 36. That's 7.8. Let's see here. 208 over 30. Wait, it's the same shit? Oh, yeah, my math is off then. Thought the low was different. But anyway, point is, versus the dollar, that's how much it's devalued 7 times. That's how much the dollar has devalued against beef. I mean, think about that, man. Orange juice. I mean, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to relay here, because this is what has happened already. These things are already unaffordable. It's not that they're going to become more unaffordable, they're already there. So, what's next? And that's what you got to get prepared for. Sugar. I mean, this is worse than crack cocaine. So, I guess that's fine. People are figuring that out. But here's corn. Right, we went from $1.25, $1.125, all the way to 5, all the way one time to $8 plus. So, all these grains that we consume, all of this stuff, all of it has been financialized to an extent that it doesn't work. I'm not saying there shouldn't be markets. What I'm saying is we should be careful how we let people control markets, because clearly they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And this is the proof, right? This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys when I say all these assets have been created to devalue that thing that you're swapping it for, which is currency. Come on. Really? From 100 to 134,000. So that's 1350, a 1350x against the dollar. This is why the rich get richer and the poor stay poor, because they don't understand math. So it's not a shit talking session. It's more a wake up, another way for me to relay what's actually going on, because this is what's going on. They're really, I mean, this is just from 2000. This is crazy. They're really putting in that work. And I mean, the euro is probably going to go to zero. Oh, have you heard? Apparently, the US will no longer be engaging the EU in any matter. That's very interesting, because other countries follow suit. This is definitely going to go to zero. So good luck to Europe. You guys need it. It'll suck for a little while, but you'll come out better on the other side. Yep. Bunch of pushovers. It's crazy. Let's see what the Swiss franc is looking like. Yeah. So look, it's like I told you guys before. When this is going down, i.e., the Swiss franc is going up, it's very bad for us. And here's just more evidence of that. Right. And I mean, everything that I'm showing you is pretty much that. So, yeah. See if there's another form of natural gas or else to look at. Let's see. Just trying to find some more history besides what we have here. I don't think we're going to find it, but I can look. Maybe this. Nope. Guess that's it. Alrighty. Well, that's it for that. Let's see what Hex got going on. Heard there was some dumping going on. And nah, didn't even tickle the chart. Try harder, homo. Maybe it was a pulse chain chart. Let's see. Probably was, yeah. I think the price was a pulse chain ecosystem price. So yeah. today. Meantime, let's see what's going on over here. Yup. Nice. So as you guys can tell, it's a pretty green day, right? Like you don't, it's not hard to tell. A lot of stocks are up. Uh, this AI one is down a little bit. This one, I forget what they do, but they're down significantly, and so is Team. But I think they're in similar areas. But everything else up. IBM had a hell of a day yesterday. They're making all-time highs today. We'll talk about that in a little bit because I want you guys to understand the big picture. Yeah, yeah, they really got to try harder with these sales. Now, don't get me wrong, we were up here, a few minutes ago, and yeah, now we're down here, but insignificant. So yeah, assuming everybody falls into the trap, you want to have some actual money, because they do roll out CBDCs and all of that fun stuff that they're planning on doing. Um, it's gonna be no way out for you. You're gonna be locked in. You might not be able to trade your way out. Basically, is what I'm getting at. So you guys need to be mindful of that. Ink ink looking good. The project's going good. Pulse extronaut. Project's going good. Just still building through. A lot of testing, and testing is hard to get through, and I had no idea. So that's what's pretty much slowing me down. So until I get through all the testing I got to do, it's gonna take a little while. But we're getting there because we're working on the user side of things now, the client side of things. So we're getting close. Pulsex, I mean, all these coins, man. You guys. Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, you have to understand how charts are made. And in crypto, it's very easy to understand how charts are made because you can see who these people are just on the internet. And I don't know if you guys were around in August, September 2024, but you can see on Twitter all the whole activity that was going on around these price levels. And it was the same thing in 2023. And every time you would see that, it was a clear marker of the bottom. Just like when everybody was super high because prices were high in December, and all of a sudden people that never talk about Hex or good about Richard, all of a sudden they're talking about good about Hex and good about Richard. I mean, of course, that's a daggone top sign. And of course, nobody's talking about it now. Hell, they're selling the hell out of it now. So of course, now it's time to buy. And this is how markets work. That is the God, the honest truth. This is why I try to tell you guys, you got to pay attention to how people are feeling, not what people are talking about, not what people are saying. Because, even in my history, even when it came to Hex, going up for 10 months in a row, even that blinded me, and I know better. But man, I had never seen anything move like that in recent history. I mean, and it made so much sense, right? Because why would you not want money printers? I don't know, but apparently I was wrong to think that. right? So it's understanding the crowd, understanding who's actually honest, who's truthful versus who's full of it. And that makes all the difference. And of course, look at all the data. That's one thing I wasn't doing. I wasn't looking at all of the data, and that definitely blindsided me. So it's all those things that are important to do so that you don't get lost in the sauce. Critical to understand there's a reason this chart looks like this. A very good reason. And this is a gold futures chart, just in case there's any confusion. See, gold right there. Um, and it doesn't matter if it's crypto, it doesn't matter, what it is, but understand what it's supposed to do. Because there might be a lot of people that think crypto and gold are supposed to move together, but you got to understand what's going on because nothing is static, especially not correlations, right? Because if you look at this market, it looks nothing like gold. Isn't that funny? Because you hear everybody tell you, need to be long Bitcoin. You need to be long Bitcoin. Don't you not have no Bitcoin in your portfolio? And ETH. Oh, ETH is even better. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? ETH is even better. You better have some of that too. Yeah. Just I could tell you what to do, man, but you got to understand why you're doing it. That's why I can't tell you what to do. Just doesn't work that way. But needless to say, a winner has been summarily picked to a certain extent. And the reason is because ETH has been diluted, and at the same time, Bitcoin has gone up significant amount since this point in time. Right in 2016, 15, I think Bitcoin was a couple thousand, if not a couple $100. Yeah, a couple $100. So there's I guess the real reason it just ran up on it. ETH has not done much. It's just a lot of expectations behind ETH, not a lot of delivery. What do you think happens when people realize what Hex is? Because you got to realize at some point it's just going to get out there. I mean, it's crazy. And you gotta learn. You really gotta learn how to do some math out here. That's really what I'm gonna say. 3.5 trillion. We keep making new highs in terms of market cap, but it's really just a little bit of Bitcoin, no ETH, because ETH hasn't made a high since 2021. Has anything else made a high? Let's see. Doubtful. Nope. This shit ain't made a high since 2018. Maybe it'll make one this year. Who knows? Let's see. I got a couple left here. This one, same deal. Hasn't made a high since 2018. And Ripple did. Congrats to 3.4. You just eked out 10 cents over your 2018 high. Congrats to them. Hope to make it. So that's what's going on in crypto world. Not a lot going on. When Trump said what he said as far as taxes and all that stuff, you guys got to realize all that paints the right picture for everything to be positive and flow into the market. And companies like MasterCard, I mean, damn, number one. Visa, damn, no, I need to get up on this joint. Number two, I mean, these companies clearly are going to benefit from all the policy changes that are about to go down, and the markets understand that. And this is what this chart means. I mean, it looks just like gold. It's not a coincidence that gold, Visa, and MasterCard all look the same. Let's see what casino stocks are doing. Not looking as good, right? And if we go back to an 8-day basis, they've just been trading sideways since 2007 because the good days are over. And the people in the markets really know that. It's just trading in a range, right? This is just really trading on prestige versus anything else. It's already done a 10x. How much can it really do when there's no real growth there? Right. So these are the kinds of things you guys got to understand when you're looking at a stock and you're assuming something's going to happen. Well, why would it? I don't know. Right. You got stocks like Spotify. I think these are one of those stocks, that only goes up from its 2022 low. Like it's just never stopped going up. Shop is another one. This thing is fucking up 5%, 3% every single day, it seems like. Because you guys got to remember, these are 8 days per candle. So this is a big mover right here. And Meta, Facebook, it opened up today big. It had nice earnings yesterday or whatever. But as you can see, they sold that all off. Everybody took profits on the open. So it's kind of just hanging in there right now. I'll probably keep running. But yeah, this is what's actually going on under the hood, right? And this is how you kind of can see what's going on. Look at what's going on with Alibaba, right? You guys remember Alibaba, Jack Ma? The guy disappeared for a little bit, then showed up out of nowhere. Blah blah blah. I mean, these things are being bought up. Oh, these guys launched the AI out of nowhere too. So all these things are playing into the market, and just you end up seeing when you look out. What do you see? You just see that over time, market has a mission. Is it meeting that mission, and what's that mission? It's to go up against the dollar. And if we look at just what's happened in the past, let's see, this past year. Yeah, this past year in a quarter. I mean, the NASDAQ has gone up 7,000 points. It's about 50% from where it was just in a year. So odds are this trend continues, because why would it not? I don't know why it wouldn't, but the dollar seems like it's not going to be really fixed. But at the same time, it seems like the economy is going to be fixed. I don't know. Doesn't quite add up. Amazon, they've pared back on their delivery services. I don't know if you guys have known that, or been made aware, but that's actually happening. Their Prime isn't really Prime anymore. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, that's what's going on with that. So there's just a lot of changes going on. You guys gotta be aware. But all in all, these green colors you're seeing on the screen is all a reflection of the market's anticipation of a pullback on all the regulatory overreach we've been seeing. Because in reality, only mega cap stocks, which are now basically just tech stocks, only they've benefited over the past 10, 15 years, because they're the ones that have been helping all of those communistic regime administrations we've been under since basically Bush and Obama, and the Bush years, early Obama years. That's what's been going on. It's all been technologically driven. And as most people know, them boys is behind all of that. So this is why these stocks just go up. If you look up any social media stock except maybe Snapchat, they all just go straight up. I only know Facebook. I don't really know any other ones. But here's another one. Palantir. This is another one that you guys are gonna see and hear about for a long time to come because they're the face for AI for them boys. So, Amazon is said to be the retail face for them boys. Google is meant to be the internet face for them boys. And Facebook, as you probably all know, is I don't have here. But Facebook is meant to be the social media face for them boys. PayPal is meant to be the financial face to some extent for them. So know who your enemy is and how they operate and all that good stuff, because that's what it's about. That's what it's about. But look, at the end of the day, guys, point I'm trying to drive home here is that market is looking bullish all around. I say partake, because if they do drop capital gains taxes and all of those unconstitutional, unlawful things, all we can do is take advantage of it and ask for more. Because we need to push and push and push until we get things to where they need to be. We can't think it's okay just because Trump is in the office. That's just not how this is going to work. So that's all I have for today, folks. Money making season is on. Grab a seat, pull up, make money. I'm working on something else that's going to be good for the site that I'm definitely going to look to share with you guys very soon. Because I'm working on it separately, actually, from the site, because I thought about it after, because I've been a fool for a while, but it's all right. Something else, now that it looks like things are going to get opened up, I'm working on a stock momentum tracker, stock momentum engine. And the idea behind that is basically you want to cast these things in motion and get on board. So I'm creating something that's going to help me find that. So far, so good. I came up with a prototype, and yeah, all the ones that are pointed out that I put up with real data, they're fucking going. So the math is working, and that's all I care about. As long as that math works, that means the model's gonna work and people are gonna get paid, and it's gonna work for up, down, and sideways, because it's just math. So if the shit ain't moving, it's gonna tell you it's not moving. So if it's moving, it's gonna tell you it's moving. If it's not moving, or if it's going down, it's gonna tell you it's going down. Right? It's gonna tell you direction. And that's what you want. So that's what's coming down the pike. Working on a few things, and the more things I think up, the slower I'll be able to produce them. Just the way it goes, because that means more and more testing. Pain of my existence nowadays is testing stuff. So yeah, just understand that the gates, I guess, are going to be opened up for us to make some money. So let's take advantage and just steer clear of a lot of headlines, mind your P's and Q's, and stay safe out there, because you don't know when the next bodies are going to drop. I hope that that wasn't real and that there weren't no bodies on that plane. That's all I can hope. But one thing's for sure, two is for certain, that was a false flag. Because a chopper does not directly fly into it. I'm not going to get into the semantics of this, but it just, no. Why would a chopper be on the same flight height level as a damn plane? Number one. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate y'all hearing me out. Appreciate y'all sharing your views and your comments. Um, Let me see if I missed any questions. Do you guys have questions before I go? I'm not really in a rush, but yeah, this is a great song because it's very true. And that's the idea behind this little thing I'm creating. It's going to definitely get rid of that problem because you're only going to deal with it if you want to, basically. I mean, there's ways that you can mimic it now. Like this here, that's kind of similar to what I'm creating. Just that what I'm creating is very, very different. So math is not going to be the same. But yeah, stuff like that already exists. Um, but I'm creating an engine, so I ain't got to search for it because I ain't got time for that. So it's almost like Google, but for stocks and how they're moving up, down, or not. So yeah, you guys let me know if you got questions. I'm reading through your comments now. Yep. Same, man. Same, yeah. And it's funny. I remember when I was in Iraq, I had to explain to my mother because at the time, we're talking about the start of all of this. There wasn't no news. Oh, I'm sorry, there wasn't no internet. We're talking 2003. You weren't emailing nobody. You weren't FaceTiming nothing. None of that. So I had no communication with my family for months. And then by the time I got caught up with the world and found out what they were saying on the news, I had to tell them, like, you can't believe none of that because all of that is a lie. And we're talking about 2003. What do you think they're doing in 2025 if they're putting dead bodies and all this stuff in front of you on TV? Hold on, guys. Yeah, it's interesting because I think about my grandmother. My grandmother was born in 1933, but then when I think about how they talk about their adult generation, now it kind of pisses me off because it's almost like them people were doing their damnedest to not talk to these people, to their kids, to anybody. Like, I don't know what the hell. But when I hear these stories and think about what makes a human being behave in such a way, think about the stories you would hear about your grandpappy or your grandma, your whatever, and how they were so stiff and just not really friendly or sociable or whatever. Like, what made them like that? Why? Is it because they couldn't talk? Is it because they had to hide information? Like, what was it? Because we know we've confirmed many a Jew have lied for years on end about the Holocaust. So what else is a lie? And whatever they experienced. So who are we to say our families weren't included too, going all the way back? We don't know because nothing makes sense. All we know is that everything is a lie. And that's my point, right? Like I wasn't there, nobody was there, and that's the problem. That's my damn problem is that there's no, even if we have a so-called record of events, how do we know this record of events wasn't just made up 2 minutes ago? How do we know? How? Because we know full and well they can fake damn near anything. So who's to say all these artifacts aren't fake? All if you've ever been to a museum, you know what I'm talking about. Especially if you go to the Natural Museum of History in London. That thing is a joke. It's a joke of jokes. Like, wow. Could not believe it when I went there myself, but it's London. What else do you expect? Nobody there cares about anything. And they got that shit on lock out there. They just beat them people into submission, something serious. Like, I don't understand it, but hey, man, it is what it is. And that's the thing, that's how they win. They win with that 100-year mind frame that we do not have. Now, I personally have been doing my damnedest to change that frame of mind for myself, and it's working out. I really suggest you guys do the same because there's really a lot of crazy shit going on. And if you don't start thinking like they think, I don't see how you're going to survive this. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, this is looking like this is something that I could see a narrative becoming a real thing. Where let me read your comment. AI is a printing press of our time. As per usual, wars will be fought over AI ideology. He who publishes their AI will publish their ideology, model biases, etc. Yeah, I mean, if you look at what the U.S. announced with the Altman guy and all that BS, I mean, A, wrong person to pick of all the people. B, you know, you got half a trillion for that. Half a trillion. I mean, that's a defense budget in many cases. Just for AI. I mean, they're willing to expand. They're willing to expand our power grid for that, but not for us, even though we're quote unquote at capacity. Something to think about. The M2 chart. Gold chart is missionary and M2 chart is yeah. Yes. 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 And I've showed that chart a lot. I've showed the M2 chart honestly too much. Um, but yes, let's not go there. Cause yeah. 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 Yeah, also that. Yeah, and people are gonna end up realizing that there's two things that impact the cost, the monetary cost of goods, and it's cost of energy and the printing presses. And the cost of energy is a function of the dollar, which is a function of the printing presses. So yeah. Yep, smart move, man, because that's definitely what it's going to be over the next 4 years. I really just hope that they really do abolish the IRS and all that. And that email that they talking about, they sent to the federal employees about, pick a date or you're gone type of thing and go back to the office. Like that shit is real deal. They definitely sent that out. Yep, yep. Yeah, I don't know if there's a water chart. I don't think there is. I've never looked. I know there's a way to look that up something, but there's stocks that you can track. I don't remember them though. We'll see. Yeah, everything is expensive right now, man. Everything is expensive right now. It's just what it is. Let's see what we got left. Yeah, definitely not an accident. Yeah. I just think he's the other hand that the controllers use to control the people. They pushed everybody to one side, and now they're trying to push everybody back to the other side. And it starts with Trump. So that's what I think. I mean, unless he starts doing things that make me question my opinion about what's going on, like taxes and all of that, that's cool. That's fine. That's dandy. But that's just one piece of the big puzzle. It doesn't really change the big picture. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's just like that. Everything. It's just about shock and awe. Shock and awe. Shock and awe. Yeah, and 2003 was when CNN got big. That's right, because they were all over the cafeterias in the desert, all over everywhere in the desert. And that's how they were getting all them fucking views. Global my ass. Yeah, that's how they was getting it. Because we was out there getting blown the fuck up, shot at, so they can get fucking views. So that's reality, apparently. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all on the next one. Get on that pony and ride it. Don't think twice. Or stallion, whatever works for you. Peace.